Welcome back to our next exciting episode of Uncivil Discourse, hosted by Lee.
Hey, everybody.
Myself. And our guest commentator this year, Laura.
Hi.
Special announcements for this week. Everybody, we have to do a more thorough site cleanup. Please do not leave messes for others to clean up after you. We all miss stuff, but please do your best to clean up your gaming area. The space is donated to us by the Ogre's Den, and we should never have a mess for them to have to clean up. It should never happen. This does include putting the tables back to where you found them, and then pushing the chairs up close so it looks nice and neat for the next person who wants to use them.
Congratulations on doing a better job on cleaning yourselves up. Now we're on to the next task of cleaning up after ourselves. This will take us into skill spends for the week. Starting off with the Wendigo Night Stalkers, the Xanatos picks up Crazy Horse.
You know, we got rid of the Cicada, and now we have the Xanthos. You can mispronounce that one as long as you want, because that one's going to be a rarity in League.
Yeah, I gotta have something to mess with people, intentionally or otherwise.
Going through the books trying to find a Xanathos.
Laser Force, unfortunately, they missed the email and banked their skill points.
Thumper's Revenge, their Menshen picks up Hyperactive.
The Black Wake, the Thug, using Underworld Contacts, generates an active probe, and then they spend some of their excess points on Prototype Pilot, which is the Comstar faction skill, to make that active probe go out further distance.
The Collection Agency, their Warhammer, takes Technician to add C3I.
Hooray!
The Lights Out stable, their Black Knight also takes Technician to add a C3F.
Neutro Reverse, the Tomahawk, picks up Combat Wisdom after having its head blown off 2 games ago, so apparently they learned something.
Hansgar's Outlaws, their Jupiter takes Target Lock.
Ward's Werewolves, the Huntsman takes Gunnery.
The Ghost Legion Gunslinger uses Underworld Contacts to add Case 2, so those exploding gauze rifles no longer take the torso with them.
Blitzkrieg Jezebels, her Scorpion takes Engineering to add Jump Jets and swap the main gun for a large X-Pulse.
And put it all in a turret.
Yikes.
Odin's Chosen, they bank their points this week.
The Wolfpack's Nightstar picks up Target Lock.
Warthog's Revenge, their Thug takes Anticipation.
Axton Pathfinders uses a very common skill. The Phoenix Hawk 3PL grabs the clan salvage on that large pulse laser.
You know, every season we see 3PL Phoenix Hawks, and every season we see those Phoenix Hawks pick up clan salvage on the large pulse.
Same thing as the Wraith.
Yep. Clan Cobra Chicken, their Black Knight, picks up Crystal Alignment, so that ER lasers now use clan ranges.
House Psychotic Weasel banked their skill points.
Intentionally, he didn't miss emails. He actually sent an email into us telling us he was banking his points.
Oh, I wonder what he's going to spend it on next week.
I could tell you, but I don't want to.
Nah.
It's going to be something that costs 5 or 6 points, though.
Yep. The first Alliance Grenadiers, their Sentinel, instead of getting reassigned or chassis upgraded, it took Engineering, changing the speed to 711-7 and giving it a primary weapon of a large pulse laser.
The Lyran Rangers, the Banshee, also uses Engineering, swapping it to a Twin PPC Twin Streak 6 monster.
Hank's Handies, they did not submit an email, so they banked their skill points.
Boo!
Sun's Irregulars, the Night Sky, takes Courage, and the Penetrator takes Anticipation. Even more kills for that Penetrator cup coming.
The Ice Creamers Marauder 2 takes Target Lock.
The Elk Riders, their Highlander takes Piloting, the Catapult takes Tactics, and their Grasshopper takes Wily Veteran to get Slippery.
And that spends their points to get them all caught up.
The Dead Man's Hand, the Avatar takes Anticipation.
4th Taurian Protectorate, their Archer picks up Trial Run for specialty LRM ammo.
The Scions of Maris, their Cataphract takes Anticipation.
Steel Shod Shambles, the Devastator 1D, hot after getting 4 PPCs, takes Favorite Weapon PPC.
I'm a bigger awesome.
Nothing is more awesome than an awesome.
True. The League of Robots, their Highlander, picks up Clan Salvage on the LRM-20, and the Devastator picks up Slippery.
Riston's Rogues, their Awesome, gets Favorite Weapon PPC, and the Wraith takes Courage.
Cat's Nightingale Cavalry, the Blood Asp takes Failsafe, and the Elementals take Cram.
Neon Grizzlies, the Kodiak, picks up Target Lock.
Yogi's Jaegers, the Stormcrow, takes Alternative Configuration, going up to the TC version, and the Daishi takes Combat Wisdom.
Notice how 2 of the biggest mechs in League that happen to be clanners, who've recently got their heads blown off, have now taken Combat Wisdom?
I spent 3,000 points on a single unit. Oh, maybe I should make sure that its head doesn't get blown off so easily.
Yep.
Anything, Laura, stick out to you this week?
4 people banked. 1 for sure on purpose, so he's got a plan, but you guys got to remember to get those emails in. I noticed a whole bunch of people take Anticipation this round, too. I don't want to face anybody with Target Lock.
Yeah, I'm looking at the mechs that took Target Lock, and almost all of them are mechs with a whole bunch of weapons they can throw downfield. That ends up giving them that -1. Any one of them hits, and then if they hit the second round, now it's got that -2 on that one mech they choose. And then if they want to go to a different mech, they just start the process all over again.
Yeah.
Target Lock is one of my favorite skills that we have in the packet, and I end up taking it pretty much every season.
Yeah, and some people don't like it.
I don't think I've ever taken it.
It's situationally really good, right?
The biggest problem with it is you have to hit first before you get any advantage. Once you do hit, great, because now you get that -1, but then you also got to continue to hit. So a mech with a single gun or a couple of big guns, not going to work that well on, because you're going to hit, oh darn it, I missed, now I got to start all over again. And then pulse lasers, you got to hit with at least 50% of your pulse lasers that are fired to be able to maintain it.
And it's one of the few gunnery skills that your opponent can actively try to take away from you. If they break line of sight, or they can do other things that just make you miss, then all of a sudden you're starting all over again from ground zero. So let's take a look at last week's matches. Starting off with our game number 1, Paxton's Pathfinders. It was up against the 4th Taurian Protectorate. This match was held in Arena number 6, the Road in the Hills, with a 4-3 win for Paxton's Pathfinders. The match comes to a close as the Taurian archer falls in water, flooding the center torso in this 22-round marathon. Congratulations, guys, and congratulations to Chris for a win.
Game number 2, Ansgar's Outlaws versus the Neon Grizzlies. This match was held in Arena 8, the Wooded Hills, with the Outlaws pulling out a 1-0 victory. Now, clearly this is the highlight of the week. The Grizzlies' Fenris pushes the Outlaws' Jupiter, who is hiding in a heavy set of trees, off a level 3 cliff, making it fall down and land on his face. Didn't quite kill it, but there was a pretty impressive little mushroom cloud when it hit the ground. No more camping in those trees for you.
I believe the quote at the table was, "Wait, you can push mechs?"
Well, when you find out you can do it, you do it successfully. Game number 3, Cat's Cavalry versus the First Alliance Grenadiers. This match was held on Arena 31, The Plaza. The Grenadiers put the herd on and come home with a 3-2 victory.
Game number 4, the Lyran Alliance versus Laser Force. This match was held in Arena number 10, Lunar Bullshit. Seems accurate, as this ends in a 0-0 tie game. Despite having multiple pilots asleep, at the end of the game, the Alliance holds it tight to the tie.
I think Laser Force is still undefeated if you don't count this as a loss. They're doing really well for a first-year team. Game number 5, the Wendigos Night Stalkers, are up against the Collection Agency. Map number 30, the Tundra. Another tie game this week, going 2-2.
Game number 6, Clan Cobra Chicken versus the Blitzkrieg Jezebels. Match was held on arena number 5, the Foothills. And again, tie game, 2-2.
Seeing a trend here this week. Game number 7, the Black Wake, was up against Riston's Rogues. This match happened in arena number 2, the Deathly Desert, where the Rogues brought home a 2-1 victory.
Game number 8, the Neutro Reavers up against the Hanks Handies. These teams should have fought in Arena 28 had smashed in Falcon Jump, but instead elected to fight in the default arena. The Reavers creamed the Handies with a 4-0 win. The Wolverine died early to an ammo crit, the Thunderbolt loses its head, the Banshee is center torso cord, and the Reavers Orion wakes up with 4 pilot hits, so needing 10s to wake up during the game. Fair to say, JP's luck turned around after the last match.
Game number 9, Red Sons Irregulars versus Ward's Warwolves.
You gave it to her again.
Oh my god. This match was held on Arena 17, the River Delta. Red Suns rise with a 4-3 victory. Mauler Mayhem as it claims 3 kills in this 20-round event. Thrash attack for the win to finish the Elementals off.
Write your notes clearer, people. It was hard to read this record sheet when the game was submitted. Game number 10, League of Robots versus Odin's Chosen. This match was held in arena number 29, the Desert. Robots reaped the rewards with a 1-0 victory.
Game number 11, the Scions of Amaris up against the Dead Man's Hand. This match was held in Arena 21, the Savannah, and it ends up in a 3-3 tie. And I gotta say this. No fix. That was a hard-fought battle. It was the best game I think I've ever played in the league, going all the way back to Stu's league. We were back and forth, and weird things happened. He punted the head off my Banshee. Jeff's Hang fell over. Armor critted his own ammo with no case, blows up the engine. It was just back and forth battle. In the end, it was his Cataphract up against my Hatchet Man, and we just danced back and forth for the last 5 rounds trying to hit each other with our guns. He was almost completely out of ammo, and luckily enough with my heavy PPC, I don't run out of ammo, but he had range on me.
Too many tie games. Too many tie games.
Oh, but we're not done.
Oh, I know. Not this game, though. Game number 12, Yogi's Jaegers versus the Warthog's Revenge. Map number 16, the Mountain Lakes. Yogi must have felt at home as they get a 1-0 win.
Thumper's Revenge versus the Elk Riders in game number 13. This match was held in Arena 23, the Cossack Valley. I should have called this one the way I wanted to. It was a 0-0 tie ending. I wanted to call a tie for Thumper's Revenge for the 3rd week in a row, but I couldn't. So this is going in my loss column for a miscalled game.
I'm pretty sure Laura's going to be setting a record this year.
I don't want to. 3 ties in a row is kind of interesting, but...
Oh, I'm talking about number of ties in a season. I think you've got a couple more in you.
She is rocking a 3-game undefeated track.
That's true. That's true. Game number 14. We have the Wolf's Pack up against House Psychotic Weasel. This match was held in Arena 15, the Forward Comm Center. The Weasels win over the Wolf, taking them down hard with a 4-1 takeaway. The Night Star has a gauze rifle that explodes, knocking out the Wolf's pilot. Then was head capped by the Grand Titan. The Thunderbolt was head capped by the Albatross, and the Centurion lost a leg and fell asleep from the fall. A very bad, no good day for the Wolfpack.
Game number 15, the Ice Creamers versus the Ghost Legion. Held on Arena number 1, the Grasslands. Ice Creamers have a cold reception for the Ghost Legion and bust them hard. 4-2 Ice Cream Sunday. The Charger goes down like a light mech early. Then the Wolverine is head capped by double snub-nosed PPCs to the face. 2-0 in round 7, the Ghosts managed to fight back to a 4-2 finale.
See, even combat wisdom isn't going to save you from a double PPC to the face.
Sure, well, because you re-roll the one, and then the second one goes, and maybe they get crits, maybe they don't.
No, I know, but 10-point shot to the face with possible criticals, never good.
Game number 16, Lights Out versus the Steel Shod Shamble. Due to a scheduling conflict, this ends in a Steel Shod Shamble victory, 2-0 by win for them.
Well, tie games, holy cow. 5 in total for this week.
We've had seasons that have had 5 tie games all season.
Yeah, this has been definitely a season of that. And the thing is, these aren't games with low round counts for the most part. There's some of them, like Jeff's and mine were 21, 22 turns. I think we might even gotten higher than that. There's a couple other ones that show that they were played a long game and just things weren't dying. Or they were dying and just, you get a kill, I get a kill. You get a kill, I get a kill.
3 weeks, and we've had tie games in every week.
Yep, and that's a rarity.
Yeah. But kind of makes sense. People are getting used to creating their lances. They're strong right off the get-go without a lot of messing around with skill points.
That is true. The quality of the lances at the beginning of the season are definitely improving.
This week, our in-house reporter Heather will be having a one-on-one talk with Keenan, one of our newest players this season.
Welcome back to another Battle Babe interview. This is Battle Babe 1 Heather, and I'm here with Keenan. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, hi Heather. I'm doing pretty good. Got my cat here.
Oh, you have a kitty cat? What kind of cat?
Oh, he's like a very small rag doll. He's just adorable, yeah.
Oh, I'll have to ask for a picture next time at least, because I love cats.
Oh yes, I can send you many pictures.
So, how was your battle this weekend?
Oh, it was intense. Carlo is a tough competitor. We got a little slowed down because he's a bit like me, where he just felt into too big a rush. I'm still trying to learn to play faster. That's the one thing. But anyway, so the battle with Carlo, yeah, no, it was inconclusive in the end, but it wasn't lack of trying. He pounded me with those heavy gosses. I don't think he missed a single shot.
Wow.
Actually, heavy gosses. He's missed with maybe the regular goss. And I was trying to get that thing to go. My stalker has that target lock thing, right? So I managed to shoot, hit.
Oh, okay.
My first shot had hit or something, lucky 10 or something. And then I get like one shot at +1. And then I think I missed those. And then I missed the next 4 rounds with the stalker. I never actually target lock going at all.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I've never played with a target lock, targeting computer, nothing like that. I've never had that ability.
Oh, it's that special skill where if you hit once, I think it's from the league, or maybe it's from the campaign thing, but if you hit the first round at one target, then the next round you get a -1 to hit, and the second round, if you hit again, keep hitting, you'll get a -2 to hit until you miss once. Then you got to start over.
Oh, okay. So that's one of the skills?
Yes, the target lock skill, 5 points. That's right.
Okay.
And the stalker. That's what couldn't get it, but it never lit. It just couldn't get started. Everything else went fine.
That's the worst. That's the worst. When you have a skill and you're like, this is going to be perfect. And you go to use it and you're like, well, that was a waste of my damn points.
At first, I thought I'd figured it all out, because I thought like it would just keep going up forever, and like at some point you get plus like -4, you're not going to miss it all, right? But of course, it just goes to -2, which is still more than you can get from one of the skill that gets you -2, I think.
Yeah, there's not many skills. It's the best way to get to lower your gunnery is through skill to like just improve your gunnery, right? It's very rare that you're going to have a -2.
Yep, I think there's only 2 skills that do it, and I'm going to maybe take those both, and then the regular -1 to hit on gunnery on the other 2 mechs.
So far for me, it's been physical mods, because I needed to put turrets on my quads, because I don't care what anybody says. If you have a turret on your quads are the best mechs out there.
Oh, I remember back in the day figuring out how to make a quad custom and build it and how to put a turret on it and stuff.
Okay, so talking that way, you've been playing Battletech, or you've had experience with Battletech for a while then.
Well, yeah, in high school.
Okay.
I know a lot of people around here, they learned from someone in the military. I learned from people who were base brats, who were base brats at Cornwallis Base, and they would teach me and my buddy to play Battletech, and then we kept it going after they were gone. That's what happened.
Oh, okay.
So it's still the military connection.
Yeah.
It goes back to Nova Scotia, where I lived in a town near the Cornwallis, old Cornwallis training base.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. I lived out east for a few years too. Military kids were the ones who introduced you to it.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. So the funniest thing was when clans came out. So we'd heard about it. People heard about clans. So the guy comes in one day and we're having this Solaris Arena thing. We've got 8 of us lined up. He's like, today you get to fight one of the clans you've heard about. And he puts his mech down. And we're all thinking, oh, well, how bad could that be? It's just one mech, right? So we're fighting this bloody direwolf with just 8 regular mechs. We had like some of the 30, 50 upgrades. It's a little, right? Just enough to like test them and just being massacred by this direwolf. And that was really special to like be invaded by the clans, actually attacked by them in the original wave, you know?
Yeah.
Then it was trying to find more people to play again. For the next couple of decades was crazy. Just trying to find a pack of maps was hard in the 90s, but eventually I found that. And then I would try to teach a couple people in high school to play it, or after everybody was gone. And then around 2007, when that box came out, I tried to teach people again. Now everyone's playing it. So in your 16 years, I'm pretty sure you would have played it. I'm fairly certain you've played a lot more in the last 16 years than I ever did in the last 32, right? But I kept always tinkering away at the custom designs and even a few I drew up and wrote stories for, you know?
Oh, okay, so you didn't get to play for a few years or a while there, and then you got to get back into it with finding people here in town that played?
Exactly, like when I heard about the Kickstarter, that got my attention. Then I realized, wait a second, if this Kickstarter is actually doing good, I should start looking around to see who's actually playing locally, as opposed to like trying to convince my friends who play D&D, or maybe they just play Magic cards or something else, and trying to convince them to play Battletech. Finally, the bulb went off my head. I'll just go find the other people who play Battletech and try to be friends with theirs. It'll be easier. And I won't have to teach everything. I'll be the one learning for once.
Well, yeah, the first time I saw Battletech, I thought it looked like the stupidest thing ever. I didn't see anything other than the sheets and these little robots. I didn't know anything about it. And I was like, that looks like the stupidest game ever. And then when I finally met Lee and he introduced it to me, we've played quite a bit. Probably not as much as some people play, but for me, it's a good, especially League, it's a good social activity. I love to see people that are coming into the Calgary Battletech community, holy moly, Calgary Battletech community, and finding League. It's kind of nice when you can find people who have the experience, like you were saying, then you can learn more from them if you didn't have the same kind of experience that they've had, right? Like Lee's been playing since, God, I don't even know how long, like 90 million years or something like that. I don't know.
It's 2024 now. He's probably been playing since about like 1024.
Yeah, about that. Yeah. I think he's been alive at least 1,000 years. He is really old. I'm really young.
He's a Highlander, I can tell.
He's a Highlander?
Yeah, probably. There's always one of them around if you look around long enough.
Absolutely.
It's just like they say, you know, you go join a bowling league or whatever, and then people are nice. That's what I heard, you know.
Yeah. Well, no, it's true, and that's one thing with our league that we're really proud of, is that it's a community that's just welcoming, and just the Calgary Battletech community in general. Everyone wants to help each other and just make the experience better for everybody. Being able to know that you have people around that maybe weren't your first connections, but people that you can have connections with and call on for support, even if it's about Battletech or non-Battletech related. You've played Battletech, you have experience with Battletech, but what are some of the other things you like to do? Writing is one. What are some other things that you like to do in your spare time?
Writing and bike riding. My accent makes it difficult, but those are two separate things. the bicycle and the pen. Salvage in real life. I go out and find things that have been thrown in recycling or whatever, and give them to people, fix them up.
Interesting. So just to circle back to League, your game on Sunday, it turned out to be a tie, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. The universe has restored to balance. My winning streak is over, and Carlo's winless streak is over. And now things are normalized, I think.
Things will change. We have 2 more weeks, and then we'll see how things are going. Moving forward, for your next 2 games this round.
I know what my next one is. It's gonna be brutal.
Who are you playing next?
Oh boy. JP's Clan Lance. Yeah, he's the one who's been teaching me stuff. Him and Jeff.
Jeff Painter, yeah.
They're the ones who taught me a bunch of stuff. I joined the that mini game, the mini campaign that Cal was running particularly to hang out with these guys, and other people, of course. But yeah, I specifically started playing and that mini game to get myself up to speed to have the confidence to join the league, and it worked.
Well, that's perfect, and that's the nice thing about guys like JP and Jeff Painter. They're both so welcoming, even if they can be a little bit overbearing just because of their knowledge. All comes from a good place. They're just trying to help people, to help them get better and to have their own experience. I've played against both Jeff Painter and JP. I play against JP tons, and I always leave my games against them learning at least one thing or being able to look at stuff in a different way, which is nice.
He's probably listening right now. I'm a little worried he's going to teach me the hard way how nasty elementals can really hit stuff. Because he knows I haven't used it much. So if I haven't used it much, I probably not that good at fighting him. If I beat him, it'd be a major upset because he's the one who's been teaching me.
Hey, you know what? It drives me bonkers, but we've played against each other off and on for 16 years, and he's beat me once, maybe twice. And I'm like, nope, I don't care. Nope. That's the story.
Funny.
It's not in league. I'm like, I don't care. It's still games. I've still beat you.
You've got a great record.
Yeah, no, but the problem was the one game that he really did beat me, I know for a fact, was in the playoffs, and he knocked me out.
Oh.
I was like, you're not supposed to do that. He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
It's luck. There's so much luck in this game.
Battletech, compared to a lot of games, really has a lot more chance to it, right? I should be able to hit regularly on 7 and less. Yeah, no, quite often I can't hit on 3s. Well, there's nothing I can do about it.
Nope. The dice gods are the ones who run this world, same as D&D.
Yeah.
We're just here to play in it. We're not running it. I've seen such spooky things that dice will just do if you do what they want them to.
Yeah.
And they like it.
Yeah.
One D&D game, it was just 2-player. They're always running around getting in trouble, just a couple burglars and stuff. And every time we would roll dice, we're jumping across a chasm or something, any time that we could get separated, the dice always prevented us from being separated. That entire campaign, the 2 characters never got separated. The dice refused to separate them. And the DM would do straight rolls. Oh, yeah, you might be fighting one-on-one now. Oh, no, you're not. It's beautiful. They'd fight each other sometimes.
Yeah. I know those feelings in both D&D and in Battletech. It's like, geez, that's not what's supposed to happen, or I did not think that was going to happen, but what do you do?
One time, I was using a really hopped-up mech, and I was firing. I needed 4 10s to hit on 4 pulse lasers, and I rolled 3 out of 4 10s. Ooh. And no one else hit anything that round. And there it is, 3 or 4 10s. I'm just scratching my head. How is it even possible?
Yep.
But I guess they liked how I maneuvered. I guess that's like you figure. Came straight at the enemy, fired everything I could at maximum medium range, and that's apparently what the dice got like.
Hey, you got on someone's good side that day. That's all that mattered.
Yeah.
The conversation's been pleasant tonight, Keenan, and the first game of the season played against you. Really enjoyed it.
Oh, yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and hopefully your game against JP, the dice gods will favor you. We'll just have to wait and see. And then, Darren, that's your week 5. We'll have to see what happens, I guess.
Darren, I'll have to look him up.
Yeah, worry about JP first. Week by week.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm just doing one thing at a time. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the interview.
Thanks for popping on and joining me. Talk to you later.
Thanks again.
Well, thanks, Heather, for that great interview. Keenan's a very interesting person to speak to, and he's a great addition to our league. This will lead us into our Week 4 upcoming matches. Game number 1, we have the Neon Grizzlies with a 1 win, 1 tie, 1 loss record up against the Red Suns Irregulars with 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Oh, see, now we got the Hamiltons and Gary. This isn't fair to me. What am I supposed to do here?
Suck it up, Buttercup.
I have to say, the Neon Grizzlies have one of the most impressive assault mechs I've seen. Yeah, the Tomahawk for the Nitro Reavers is powerful. Yeah, the Daishis for mechs, for lances like the Warwolves, really powerful. But that Kodiak with 9 ER mediums, 2 ER large, and a Gauss rifle, and now it runs. Remembered. Yeah, you said it last week. I remember 2 ER large lasers, and it also runs 7 thanks to Ground Pounder. It's just not Ground Pounder, Speed Demon. Thank you. Sorry, it sounds right. Ground Pounder sounds like it would be the right name. Anyway, either way, it's really fast, and once it's close, you're firing 9 7-point shots with gunnery skill now. I think it has anticipation, or it has target lock. Oh my god, that's going to be such a disaster for people. Gary's got a great lance as well, but he's got 2 wins. Well, I'm not going to say anything. He's doing well. I am going to call this for Neon Grizzlies. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2.
I played a 4 funsies game against the Neon Grizzlies, and there was a point where my gunslinger was on a hill, and the Grizzlies' Kodiak was, I think, 4 hexes away. And I was sitting there, and I'm like, oh, he's at perfect range. He's just going to park in those trees, and we're just going to duel. And then all of a sudden, he's like, nope. Turn 1, move forward, and all of a sudden, he's in base to base with me. And I'm like, oh, crap, I forgot that thing goes 7. It is a shocking surprise when all of a sudden you have a Kodiak right up on top of you being like, I'm going to hug you now, and you're not going to like it. With that, I mean, Gary's one of my favorite players. I think he has an absolute chance on this. This will not be a tie. There will be a winner, and there will be a loser. And this is probably going to end up with a 4-3 Grizzly victory, I think.
I like the Hamilton's lances this year. Scott coming out 3 games, like one of each, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. I mean, the losses can come down to just dice. But it's Gary. And his Red Suns fighting for the top A side.
And Scott didn't bring a Grizzly mech.
I know, but he does have the Kodiak.
Me.
It does. It's irking, but you still can't. He brought a
pair, but he didn't bring the Grizzly.
Yeah, well, if he brings those Grizzlies over to my table, I'm putting the Kodiak down again. But for this game, I'm voting for Scott. I think the Grizzlies are going to get it this. I almost split the difference with you guys. 4-2.
Oh, okay. I feel really dirty voting against Gary. Sorry, Gary, but the Hamiltons are just—they're too good to. They're too nice to vote against.
He helped clean up my bids table yesterday, buying some stuff. So I feel bad about not voting for him, but I'm not going to let him buy my vote. Game number 2, we have Hank's Handies with 2 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties, which puts him higher in the standings than I am. He will take on the Wolf Pack with 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Probably one of my absolute oldest friends ever, and my kid. So this is a game that I want to actually be able to sit down and watch. I definitely want to try and finagle my way into having them sit in the table beside me, just so I can enjoy this game vicariously but through osmosis. They've played a couple of times outside of League or whatnot, and I don't know if Darren is Alex's kryptonite or if he just has bad luck, but I think this is probably going to be a 3-1 Handies final.
Well, I'm looking at the Wolves. I try to look at these guys while we're talking about it. I quite like it. It's a good lance. He recently picked up target lock on his Nightstar, which is going to definitely do him a world of good. I'm not seeing any gunnery skills on Hank's Handies, so he's running basically just straight power.
Nope, he banked this week too by accident.
Mm-hmm. the wolf pack have the targeting computers as well, so he's got that advantage going in. He's also got league play advantage for time. I am good. They're very similar lances though. I am going to go with actually the wolf pack. I think they're going to get their second win. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be a 3-2 again.
I'm kind of in the same boat Brett is, although I haven't been friends with Darren quite as long as Brett has. Old man. But it's my kid. And he actually has a tough lance. He's my first tie. That was match 1. And we just didn't have enough rounds to kill anything to get one up. I think I'm going to agree with Lee, wolf pack. But I don't think it's going to be super high scoring. I think I'll agree with Brett, 3-1 for the wolf pack. Game number 3, the Dead Man's Hand, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie, versus the League of Robots, 1 win, 2 losses, 0 ties.
Aha, you're up first.
I know I am. This is another tough one though.
Can Old and Miserable be new and engaging?
I don't know if his lance would be engaging.
Well, neither of them are pretty, so you can't say, the typical trope.
Well, they're both married. Somebody must find them pretty.
Well, acceptable, passable.
It's a tough call for this one. Jared has another strong lance this year, even though he does have 2 losses under his belt.
Don't you call a tie?
No, I feel like calling ties is a cop-out, but sometimes it just feels right.
There are some matches that it's like, I think this might actually be a tie.
Yeah.
This isn't one of them.
Well, one of my calls from last week was a tie, and I got it bang on. And it was Lee's match.
Look at you being more accurate than Lee.
I know. Oh, I think...
That's not hard to do, though.
Yeah, set the bar 4 inches off the table. It's pretty easy to reach.
Even for someone as small as Laura.
Yeah. There we go. Short jokes. Fine, I'm going to change my vote then.
Everybody's more or less the same height sitting down.
I think you guys are going to have an absolute blast playing each other, but I think Lee's going to win. I think it's going to be 4-3 though.
I think you're giving him too much credit. You're absolutely correct that I'm also going to put my money down on Lee winning this one, but I think it's going to be a lower scoring game. I think it's going to be a 3-1.
Jared just absolutely ran me over last season. But that has a lot to do with the clan tech he chose. Let's be honest. Flat map, lots of trees, and clan accuracy. He just ate.
He did have one of the best on-paper lances last year.
Yes. Yeah. And mine definitely was not great on paper. I'm going to say I can't vote against myself. I'm going to say I'm going to win. It's going to be, I'm seeing at least 2 dead on his side. I'm going to say I get a third, so it's going to be a 3-2. Game number 4, we have the Warthog's Revenge. 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Up against Scions of Ameris with 2 wins, 0 losses, and a tie. Well, I fought the Scions of Ameris last game, and Jeff is always a tough and powerful opponent. Warthog's Revenge has a great lance. He's doing really well. 2 wins so far. It could very easily have been 3 wins for the Scions, though. So I am going to say the Scions of Ameris are going to win it through experience and through tactical skill. And I'm going to give it to him as a 4-2 because he's doing a really good job of wiping mechs off the battlefield.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be another higher-ish scoring game, and I think the Scions of Ameris are probably going to take it, unless the Warthogs pull some lucky, random, weird funkiness. I'm not sure that these 2 players have ever played before, so regardless of how it turns out, it should be a good game for both of them. But Scions of Ameris, also with a 4-2 victory.
these two teams are in it to win it. Like, the Warthogs are quite high up in the standings, which is great. But I think Jeff has the experience a little bit more. I think Scions of Amaris are going to take it, but I think Warthogs aren't going to give in that easily. I think it's going to be 3-2.
Game number 5, we've got Ward's Werewolves with 1 win, 2 losses, and 0 ties, versus Wendigo's Night Stalkers with 2 wins, 0 losses, and a tie. So this is another undefeated team coming up against another team that has clan tech. With that, Jay has a really solid lance, and he's been doing nothing but good things, improving year over year. I'm thinking that he may actually potentially be A-side playoff this year. So I'm going to give this to the Night Stalkers, and I think it's going to go really well for him. I'm predicting a 4-1 loss, or 4-1 victory for the Wendigo Night Stalkers.
I'm looking at the Werewolves right now. As always, I like to pull up the sheets, especially the lances I'm not 100% comfortable with, especially when they've added new skills. Todd has been playing in League forever. Old League, and has come back to this league. I think this is his 3rd season with us, and he's improved each year. He hadn't played in quite a while, so he had a little bit of a rough first season. He just added gunnery to his Huntsman, which gives him 2 large pulse lasers, an LB2X, and an LRM-10 with an extra -1 to hit. That's pretty huge. He's going to be throwing out 2 large pulse lasers with -3 to hit. A Marauder C with Faction Tech that is now carrying a pair of large pulse lasers, a heavy large laser, and a bunch of heavy mediums. It's the heavy mediums and the heavy large, little bit of a weakness for the mech since it doesn't have gunnery, but that large pulse laser, 2 large pulse lasers, extremely accurate. Direwolf H, 2 heavy PPCs, 2 gauze rifles, I believe.
No, 2 heavy large lasers, 2
heavy large lasers, 2 gauze rifles, and a targeting computer. So you've got already the -1s on the gauze rifles, 2 really great head cappers. The heat sinks to fire those 2 heavy heavy large lasers and not worry about it. It's a Daishi with enough firepower to make just about anybody quiver. He's just got to hit them. And the targeting computer makes that a little bit more likely. Wendigo's Night Stalkers have been good right from the moment he joined League. This is going to be a tight game, and I'm actually going to call this one as my first tie of the week. I think this is going to be a tie, and it's going to be a 3-3.
Tough choices. But I think just straight out, I'm going to go with the Wendigo Night Stalkers as well. I don't think it'll be a super high scoring. I'm going to go, I want to say 2-1, but I kind of give them both credit. I think it'll be 3-2 for the Wendigos.
So Lee, playing off of your 3-3 tie call, I think the game's going to end with a Night Stalker mech unconscious and the Elementals being unable to get to the position to finish it off.
That's a possibility.
If it ends in a 3-3 tie, I think that's the scenario that it happens.
The Elementals will survive, and one of the Night Stalkers just can't. Is
They'll
immobilized
just be,
somehow.
they don't count as dead, but they're not able to interact or take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Game number 6, we have the 4th Taurian Protectorate with 0 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie, going up against Yogi's Jaegers with 2 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties. Well, Yogi's won last week.
And this is the other Hamilton brother,
I know.
who's playing with all the fun LRN memo now.
Yeah. I actually played the 4th Taurian. They were my week 2. I hate saying it's always a tough game because I came out with ties. But he was my most fun match.
Shots fired at Alex.
It's bias if I say it. But no, this year, so far, James has been my favorite match. Because I actually had to think about more than just my mechs. Everybody has to pay attention to everybody's mechs, but I actually had to attempt to strategize to not die and lose to James. I think he's going to get his first official win. I think it'll be a 3-1.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough game because Will's doing really well with his clan forces. I think James is going to do really well up against that, but I think Will's going to have another good match this season, and this is probably going to be his third win. I do think it's going to be a close one, though, with a 3-2. Go Yogi Bear.
Yeah, I happen to be Will's only loss, and it was because I had capped that Daishi, and now he has combat wisdom. I'm looking at James's lance. It's a mixture of your and my lance, Laura. He's got a hunchback 464 with a heavy PPC and some other weapons in it, merciless. So it's got basically 5 tons more armor and junk than my Hatchet Man. His archer, with 2 LRM-20s with Artemis 4, has just taken trial run because his Marauder 9M2 has tag.
And 2 heavy PPCs and 2 Streak 6s.
And 2 heavy PPCs, 2 SRM-6s, so very much like my Avatar. His awesome is 4 PPCs, very much like my my now modified Banshee with the 4 light PPCs and the LB-10X. They're very mixture of the same. The biggest problem, and I think this is what's going to cost the Taurian Protectorate, the Protectorate, I think what's going to cost them the game is that Daishi is going to survive a lot longer than a lucky headshot's going to give him. So I think the Yogi's Jaggers are going to win it, and it's going to be a 3-0. Game number 7, we have the Laser Force, 2 wins, 0 losses, 1 tie. They're up against the Neutral Reavers, 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. Well, the Laser Force have been on a tear for the first 3 games. They have not lost yet. They got a tie and 2 wins. And the Neutral Reavers have bounced back from their unfortunate loss against Alex. And I'm saying unfortunate because that kind of put JP on his heels for a little bit. Once again, JP's lance is probably the best in league. On paper, it's just a killing machine. I think JP's experience is going to take him again to the win. I'm not getting off this bandwagon. Neutral Reavers for a 4-2 victory.
This is absolutely the Reavers' game to lose. If they lose, it's because he found somebody else that's kryptonite, or his dice went super cold, super hot, super cold. It will be absolutely a 4-score Neutral Reavers win, but I think he's going to do it in such a decisive way that Laser Force is only going to get 1 kill. Actually, no kills. This is going to be a 4-0. We've had a bunch of those this season, and I'm going to try and call this one as that as well.
Well, their last match was a 4-0. Neutral Reavers just tromping over their opponent. So I think Keenan's got a fight on his hands with JP for sure. I think it's going to be JP. I think it's going to be a 4-2 though.
Okay, game number 8. Blitzkrieg Jezebels with a bye win, a loss, and a tie. Up against Cat's Cavalry with 1 win, where they beat me, 2 losses, and 0 ties. So this is going to be a great game. Heather typically will play to her opponent's skill level. It hasn't been as prevalent last season, and not so much this season, but it has been there. That being said, Matt's a really solid player, so she's going to be playing up, if anything at all. I do think that Matt will be looking at 2 quads and being like, I'm not sure what these do. I haven't seen a whole lot of these. But that Blood Asp is murderous. If she can take it out early, Heather will have the win. If she leaves it to last, like I did, this is going to be a Cat's Cavalry. I think it's going to end up being a cavalry win with a 3-1 victory.
Well, this is always tough for me because one's my wife, the other one, Matt, who I really think is a great player. His Blood Asp is the entire core of his lance, though. You did say that, and it is the mech that she has to really beat. Rifleman 2C4 is a good mech, really accurate. The only problem with it is its arms come off quite easily. That was one of the biggest problems I had with it when I was in Langley last year. The Ice Ferret C is very fast, has some good weapons. However, Heather's not worried about you closing. Her 2 quads have turrets for their large X-Pulse lasers. She can pick a location, hull down, fire the gauze rifle at things, and with that danger zone, only the Blood Asp can actually get within 1 hex. Even the elementals are immune because they have physical attack skills. So she is going to have to worry about that, but they got to get there first. Heather's got accuracy, the cavalry does as well because they've got all those large pulse lasers. Her accuracy is going to be pretty good though because she's going to be able to move around a lot. I think this is going to be a really close game. I'm going to call it for the Nightingale Cavalry. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2.
The elementals will potentially be a game changer if they can get into a hull down quad. They can start doing a lot more.
The only thing is, the quad can automatically thrash.
Not if it's in trees. It has to be in a clear hex.
Okay. She just needs to know that.
If it's hull down, she's
no
probably
problem
not
going
in
into
clear
water.
hex.
She has no problems going into water.
I want to say Heather's going to win,
So do it.
but I don't think she will. Not without a good fight, though. I actually think it's going to be higher scoring. I think it'll be a 4-2 for Cats. Game number 9, Lights Out, with 0 wins, 3 losses, and 0 ties, going up against the Psychotic Weasels with 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. So, Psychotic Weasels, another one with a 1-1-1 record so far. Lights Out, unfortunately, haven't been able to make all of their games, so they've actually lost due to bye games. Hopefully we see him back soon so he can pull out an actual win. I think the Psychotic Weasels have it for this one though, and I think it's going to be 3-2.
Well, this will be Paul's first game with a full C3 lance. The Griffin, the Black Knight, the King Crab with the twin LB20s, and that other mech that I'm not allowed to pronounce. So I think he might have a pretty good chance here. Both of these players have been known to sometimes do things that are a little bit off the cuff or a little bit unexpected. It will be a fun game. They will have a lot of good laughs, and I think it may be a bit of a coin flip on this one. I think it's going to be a 3-2 tie, but a 3-2 final score, but I'm having trouble picking a winner. So I'm going to go with the C3 and Lights Out, despite wanting to see what a Buccaneer can actually do.
It's the easy one for me. It's Chris. I've made the promise. So it's going to be Lights Out. I really like Chris's chances in this, other than having to fight off that C3I. He played them last year, so he has some idea how to work them and how to hopefully be able to beat them. He's got ECMs on a couple of his mechs, so that will help. At least make sure Lights Out have to maneuver properly. I'm going to say it's going to be a Lights Out win, and it's going to be, I'm going to agree, 3-2. Game number 10. We have the 1st Alliance Grenadiers. One of our few teams, I think maybe even our only team, with 3 wins, 0 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Ice Creamers with 2 wins, 0 losses, and a tie. Aaron's playing really well this year. He thumped you pretty good, Brett. 1st Grenadiers are playing really well. 3-0, 3 wins, 0 losses. That is doing really well. Both solid games, both solid teams. I've got to go with the Ice Creamers because they seemed solid all season, like right from the word go. I'm going to go with the Ice Creamers, and I'm saying they're going to win it 4-3.
I think he's going to get Fafnered. I'm pretty sure that Andre is going to put another win in the column, and I think it is going to be one of those where something happens early and something goes down hard, and then the Ice Creamers just melt in your hand and can't come back from that. I'm going to go with a 4-1 First Alliance Grenadiers. Also, Aaron likes it when we call against him. It makes him fight harder.
I'm going to call for him for the rest of the season.
Well, now I don't know what to vote. I think he is going to win, but if it's going to vote against him makes him win harder, then it's like an if you damned if you do, damned if you don't scenario. I think Aaron's going to take it, though. I think the Ice Creamers are going to win. I think it will be a 4-3 as well.
It's going to be a very tightly fought battle.
Yeah.
And Brett, you think it's going to be a bit of a wash?
A bit of a swing. Game number 11, the Elk Riders with 0 wins, 2 losses, and a tie, versus Clan Cobra Chicken with 0 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. On paper, these teams couldn't be more equal. Their scores are the same. Their ability to put damage down range is very similar. I am actually going to call this as a 1-1 tie game.
I don't know if too many of John's battles have ever gone down to just 1 kill. I know he's sometimes only been able to get 1 due to bad dice, but I've rarely seen his opponents only get 1. That being said,
Hey, that's my line.
I am going to I know, I'm stealing it for this particular one. I am going to give this to the Clan Cobra Chicken. The Elk Riders are struggling this year, and their struggles have more to do with the game's, the league's way of playing. League tech, league skills, league organization. They're still struggling a little bit. And John's been with us for almost every season that has ever existed for Calgary Battletech League. I like the Elk Riders Lance. I just think John just knows the game better. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-1 victory for the Clan Cobra Chickens.
This will be the Elk Riders' first game with skills, so they're going to have to try and remember what they purchased now, too.
Yeah, depending on the skills. I even have a hard time remembering which ones I bought. We're only 3 games in. But John definitely has the experience and the knowledge. And hopefully, maybe Chris can pick up some good pointers to help with his game. Because he is a new player, and yeah, league rules and skills they're kind of hard to pick up for the first half. So, Clan Cobra Chicken, I think it's going to be 3-2.
First year is always tough on a player.
Yeah.
Game number 12, the Steel Shod Shamble. See, that's how you say it, Laura.
Uh-huh.
With 2 wins, 1 being a bye win, 1 loss, 0 ties. They're up against the Paxton Pathfinders. 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. And for his 4th season, this is Chris's best start ever. Solid games against some solid players, and he won. I'm going to say he's going to continue this process. Steel Shod Shambles, you're not going to win this one. Chris has got it. I think he's going to go 3-1. I think he's going to make A-side during the split and the reshuffle. Not have any idea how he's going to do. Yeah, the top half. I don't know what he's going to do after that, but I'm pretty sure they're going to win 3-1.
So let me start off by saying that I'm super proud of Chris this year. He's way higher in the standings than I am, with 2 wins and a loss. He has been having a fantastic season so far. So have the Steel Shod Shambles. Even their loss has been just a kind of like, did we math that right? Is this how this last final turn actually works? I believe he fell down and killed his own mech in the final turn to lose that game. So I think it's going to be another loss column for the Pathfinders because he's just going to get run over roughshod, but it's going to be an enjoyable game, and he's going to put up a respectable fight. This is going to be a 4-2 Steel Shod Shamble win.
Chris is doing fantastic this season. I'm surprised. Not saying that he was typically down at the bottom, but
Just the way you said that, I'm surprised.
he's always done better than I float near the bottom, and he's always been like B-side. But he's a couple points out of A-side right now. Like, he's quite strong.
And putting it in perspective, this is not his strongest lance that he's ever run. The Cyclops and the Marauder are not super awesome. They're not detrimental, but they're not strong mechs by any measure of the...
New player or returning player? At this point, all I want to do is flip a coin. I think Paxton's will get it. I don't think it's going to be quite as high scoring as even 3. I think it'll be 2-0. Game number 13. The Collection Agency. 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. Going up against Thumper's Revenge with 0 wins, 0 losses, and 3 ties.
Undefeated!
Yeah.
Technically, it's accurate.
Technically, it's accurate. I'm undefeated, but I just want to see a 1 in either of my 0 columns now. I don't even care if it's a loss.
Hey, Laura, think about it this way. Right now, you've earned more points than you did in the entire second half of last season.
Oh, yeah.
So you should be looking at this as a victory no matter what happens in the next 2 games.
It's going to be awful awkward if she goes 4 ties in a row. We may have to come up with another trophy or another award.
Ugh. Well, it is Cal. I seem to remember enjoying the match against him last year, so it's going to be fun, for sure. And since I'm not going to vote against myself, I'm going to win. I think it'll be 3-2.
The biggest weakness I see in your Lance, Laura, is you don't have ECMs. The only mech in your group that does is your Crusader that's using the ECM
Stealth.
to give it stealth. So you're either going to have to just accept that he's going to have better range than you and play against and just hammer it, walk across the battlefield hammering him as you go in, or turn the stealth off and try to block his link. You only move 3-5-3 with the Crusader, so you're pretty much going to be using that mech to chase down his spotter. You're going to have to dedicate to it. It's going to be hard. That's going to be tough for you. I can't vote for you in this. I'm sorry, but the fact you can't shut down his C3I efficiently is going to cost you the game. I think you're going to do great. I think if you hit him with that tag, you're going to mess his mechs up. I just think the gunnery bonus of C3I is too good. Collection Agency is going to take this, and I think it's going to be a 3-1.
As Lee said, I don't think you have a viable way to try and shut down the C3. With that, I don't think you should try. Use the Crusader as it's meant to be. Use it as a fire support instead of always jumping 3 or always just sort of being there to try and break a network. Be more efficient. Be more useful and just try to hammer and kill things and defeat the network by dropping mechs 1 at a time. I think I would really like to see you win this. I'd like to see you put a win in the column, but I'm going to side with Lee and go with the Collection Agency. But I'm going to vote a 4-2 on this one.
Game number 14. We're down to the last few games. We have Riston's Rogues. 2 wins, 1 loss, 0 ties. They're up against Ansgar's Outlaws, which are sporting the ever-popular 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. The Riston's Rogues have been playing a good season. They are not they still don't have their foot on the pedal like they did last year. I think he's not that worried about it. He got his championship. He's not as hungry for wins as he was before. Ansgar's Outlaws last year had a really good season. They're not fumbling. They're not. They have 1 win, 1 loss, 1 tie. And the tie is probably against Lights Out. Or no, it's a tie, not even a by win. So it was a tie. Probably a scheduled game that couldn't happen, or it was one of the 5 from last week. I'm going to say the Ristons Rogues are going to win. I just think that they just know how to play the game. It's going to be a 3-1.
We've got Ristons Rogues, Ansgar's Outlaws. Ristons Rogues came out saying, I'm going to play a relaxed, kind of just chill season and just sort of play the dice and see what happens. As you said, he doesn't have his foot on the gas. He's just coming out to play some games and have a enjoyable time. Ansgar's Outlaws is always hungry for the win and typically will sit on 2 to 3 horseshoes throughout the season, sometimes at the same time and sometimes won't take them out. I think he's on a horseshoe right now, so I'm predicting a Ansgar's Outlaws 3-2 victory.
I think it's going to be a Ristons Rogues victory, but I think I'm going to go with Brett's score 3-2 for the Rogues. Game number 15, Ghost Legion with 1 win, 2 losses, and 0 ties, going up against the Black Wake with 1 win, 2 losses, and 0 ties. So, looks like they're evenly matched. Their standings are identical. Unfortunately, both lances just don't seem to have anything spectacular happen in their games to be memorable, because I don't remember seeing much on their sheets.
In my defense, I'm running a C3 melee network.
Isn't working, apparently.
It is the opposite of good strategy. But it's fun. And, sometimes that's what you just gotta have a season of.
Well, and Devin is a fun player, so...
I've also double booked myself this weekend. I've got a 40k tournament that runs on both days. If I'm lucky and things work out, I will run 3 games of 40k on Saturday, 1 game of 40k Sunday morning before Devin shows up. We'll start a little bit late, and then he'll be playing me after a 4-game marathon. If it doesn't work out, I will have to drop out of one of these 2. And being involved in the Battletech League, I don't think it would be fair to Devin to be that one.
You're a glutton for punishment.
I'm stupid at some points. You can just come out and say it.
Okay. Stupid. I think the Black Wake's gonna win. I was gonna vote for them anyway. Just for no other reason than it's against you.
Ooh, owie. Wow, we're just kicking the man when he's down. He just lost. On that, I like your lance. Brett, I'm going to call for you to win. I think you just have enough experience against Devin, and you're not going to be in any way, shape, or form coaching him before this game, I hope.
No.
And I think your experience is going to pull it out for you. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be I'm going to say 3-2, because you always lose 2 mechs. At least 2.
Yeah, I was going to vote 3-2, but I'm thinking that it's actually going to be Devin in this one.
You can't vote against yourself, sir.
Yes, I absolutely can.
No, you're not allowed to. Nobody has ever done it in 4 seasons. Because that smells of throwing a game.
All right, then. 4-2 victory for me. But in reality, I think it's going to be a 3-2 Devin victory.
Last game of the week, Odin's Chosen with 0 wins, 3 losses, 0 ties. They're up against the Lyran Rangers with 0 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Well, these are 2 teams that need to start seeing some positive things happen, and luckily, they're playing against each other, so one of them's going to have something positive happen. Odin's Chosen has been playing, like everyone that had been playing against him have not had a whole lot of things bad to say about his games. He's playing okay. It's first season player. It's not easy. It just isn't. And if you've had any form of a break in playing Battletech, that's going to affect it as well. So I think he's doing all right. Carlos, this is his second season back. So he does not have that problem. I think he's just running into really tough players. I like the Lyran Tech. So I am going to give this to the Lyran Rangers, and I'm saying he's going to win it 4-1.
I'm also picking on the Rangers to win this one. They are going to take it to the outfield with a 2-1 victory at the end of the day.
Ooh, one super high score, one not so super high score. I too am also going to be voting for Carlo, the Lyran Rangers. He's a returning player. He knows most of the rules and whatnot, like he's read the packet.
And he's had like a season and a half of tough opponents. You learn more when playing tough opponents.
Absolutely you do. Absolutely. So Carlo, the Lyran Rangers are going to win. I think it's going to be 3-2.
Well, everybody, that is week 4, week 3, 4, coming up to week 4, episode 5 in the books. I want to thank everybody for listening, and thanks you for sticking with us, and we're hoping to see some more people join up, so sign up, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Tell your friends, tell your frenemies, tell your everybody.
Yeah. Anybody who's interested in Battletech, and people who aren't even interested in Battletech.
I got nothing. Actually, no, that's not true. I'm pretty sure Heather has started to look at potlucks. So keep an eye out for any forms to sign up for bringing food or votes for days that we want to have it, because we do enjoy having our little community get-togethers. Bring what you can, eat, chat, just relax after the match.
Yeah, the community building that we've done over the past 4 seasons has been amazing. I love it. It actually, you get to know people.
Yeah, it's been pretty awesome. Anybody that likes MechWarrior, Battletech, MechWarrior 5 Clans is coming out soon. So any of your friends that are talking about that, tell them about our podcast. Help us get to 350, and then we can start talking about other things as well. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you very much to everybody who is making efforts to make improvements to the league, to the area, to the community. And with that, have a wonderful evening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.